Good morning, everybody. Tom here at White Dog Haven. It is Friday, July 10th, and it is dog food making day for Odin. We have been making Odin's dog food from fresh ingredients for the past several years. We were interested in providing him with something that we thought was healthy and fresh and less processed. So we've been doing this for a while, and I've been tweaking it over time. I'm probably going to make some more tweaks today and maybe the next time as well. I'm not sure yet, but anyhow, thought I'd let everybody in on a little behind the scenes today of how we put this dog food together. It's a bit of a process. Takes about half the day. I make enough for about a month and a half, maybe sometimes almost 2 months worth of food for the dog. Just depends on how it stretches with other things that we give him. So yeah, today's the day. I'm going to show you where I'm at so far. I actually forgot to start this video when I began the process this morning, so I'm kicking myself. But I'll catch you up to speed, and then I'll go through the rest of the process and talk you through what I'm doing. Just as a preface, this is just for entertainment purposes. I'm not suggesting you make your dog food this way. I'm not suggesting that this is the right way. I'm just a normal guy with a dog that I love, and just trying to do the best I can to give him good food. So here we go. All right, so to catch up to speed, I'm just finishing off cooking some rice for the recipe. So that's releasing pressure now, and I'll be letting that cool here in just a minute. We have already shelled 14 eggs. We typically buy organic eggs. This is today actually a mix of organic and non-organic because that's what I had. So we crack the eggs, and then we're gonna actually bake the egg shells off for about 10 to 15 minutes at 225. And once that's done, we're going to put them in a blender and grind them up into a very fine powder, and that's gonna provide some calcium for our recipe. We also have fresh carrots. We have, they were fresh potatoes. We had an excess last time, so we chopped them up and froze them. So we have just russet potatoes. We've got some celery. We've got a couple cans of cut green beans, which I'm going to rinse before I put in the recipe because they are salted and we don't want to overdo the salt for Odin. So we'll remove as much of that salt as possible before we mix it in. And then we have about 5 to 6 pounds of ground beef per recipe. This is 88% lean. We try to leave a little bit of fat content in there for the dog, not too lean. So yeah, on to the next part. I forgot to mention that today I was a little bit short on rice, so I've substituted some lentils. I think the eggshells are done. Should be nice and dry, and we'll let them cool off for a few minutes, and then we will blend these up into a fine powder. Just a quick tip, if you plan on making your own dog food like we do, I highly recommend investing in a meat mixer like this one. I used to mix all of our ingredients in an aluminum chafing pan. Big pan. It was a ton of food to mix all at once by hand, and it was always a mess. I'd get it all over the counter. It would get on the floor. Anyways, it was a huge game changer buying this mixer. Now I can put an entire batch in here at one time, get it all mixed up, and then move on to my next step, getting it into our molds. So buy a meat mixer. Uh-oh. Yeah, by the way, I know it's a little contradictory to say that we like to make him fresh food, and you saw me put 2 cans of green beans in there. Honestly, just trying that as something new in the mix this week, or this month, to see if we can give it a little different flavor. Odin's been eating this, basically the same mix now for quite a long time, so I think he's getting a little tired of it. So we're just gonna try to tweak it a little bit here and there and see what he likes better. Get a little baby arm workout in here. Here's our powdered eggshells to add the calcium to this mix. You just want to make sure you don't get it too chunky so that he's not eating large fragments of eggshells, which I think we did pretty good here. That looks pretty good. Usually takes a couple minutes worth of this to get it nice and evenly mixed up. You probably see why I mentioned earlier that this meat mixer is a game changer compared to trying to mix it by hand in a big pan, which was frankly just really annoying and messy. So again, if you're gonna do this, get yourself a meat mixer. Make sure you buy the right capacity for how big a batch you plan to make most of the time, so you can get it all in there at once. All right, and I think that's looking pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and finish up the mixing process, and then we're gonna get this portioned out into those silicone pans over there. See you in a sec. Another quick tip is how we make the portions. We've got these silicone molds. I guess these are small loaves, and then we've also got these cupcake molds. Honestly, we have both styles only because at the time we bought them, they didn't have all of one kind. The loaf pans I prefer for the portions that we make. So if you were gonna buy these molds, I would recommend the loaf pans. They release super easy. They clean up pretty easy. They store easy. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing it any other way. This is really messy. All right, so we've got our portions all portioned out into our silicone molds. I ran short 1 tray today, and the reason for that is I was short on rice, as I mentioned earlier in this video, and I substituted lentils, and they just don't puff up as much as the rice, so the volume of the food is less, but I think the nutrient is all still there. So we'll go with 1 tray less, and we'll just be making this a little bit sooner. Woo! Time to go in the oven. And now we're going to bake these for 1 hour at 400 degrees. All right, so the food's in the oven. It's got about a half hour left. So I'm just getting prepared to package everything up. Besides the silicone baking trays and the commercial meat mixer that I mentioned earlier, things that really are super helpful in the process. The other thing that's absolutely mandatory for the process is at least one of these, food saver type food vacuum sealers. We started with one, which we used for a long time, and then we ended up buying a second one because of the volume. It's much easier to both make and seal bags with 2 machines and fill and seal bags with food in them with 2 machines. So that's another recommendation. If you happen to make dog food for even 1 dog like we do, or certainly multiple dogs, I think you're going to need more than one of each of some of these machines to make your process smoother. So that's another tip. All right, let's make sure these are done. I'm going to check the internal temperature real quick. Make sure they're at least 165 degrees. And they are well over 165. They're like 190. So these are definitely done. Good to go. I'm going to get these out of here now. All right, the food is done, and now we're gonna let it cool for 15, 20 minutes, long enough so we can handle it, and then we'll start packaging and sealing them up. These come out of the pan, or these silicone molds, super easy. Just got to reach underneath and pop them right out. Today. Ooh, what you got there? Yum, yum. Get your tray. Go get it. Lick your tray. Go get it, buddy. Go ahead. Here. Okay, everything is done. The food's all been sealed up. I've got everything dated. We're letting it cool a little bit more, and then it's going to go in the freezer. Based on how we feed Odin, this will be approximately 50 days worth of food. It's 50 portions. So it'll stretch a good ways. Yeah, so that's it. There you go. This is my dog food making process. It took a while to sort of get that refined to the point that you see today. It's a pretty clean and repeatable process, just time consuming. But we love our dog. He's very healthy in general. The vet says he's perfect. So it seems like the food's doing its job, and we're going to keep making his food. The only thing that I think I'm going to add going forward is an omega-3 in the form of some fish oil. I know that as dogs advance in age, that's good for their joints. Especially larger breeds. So very likely be adding some omega-3, a source of omega-3 here very soon, probably our next batch. So other than that, thank you very much for watching. I know this ended up being maybe a little bit of a long video, but it's a long process, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So please follow White Dog Haven. I'm Tom, my wife Jennifer and I started this company a little over a year ago. We're a reseller. We have booth spaces at Angry Mama's Antiques and Interiors in Cumming, Georgia. We also sell on eBay and Marketplace. So please look us up, follow us on each of those platforms. Shoot us a message if you've enjoyed this content, if you'd like to see more like it. If you have any questions about any of this process, please drop a comment below. I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to grow a small business. It's difficult. It's tough to get people to watch your content. Everybody's got an attention span that's pretty narrow these days, myself included. So I'm very cognizant of that, and I appreciate your time. So thanks again. We'll see you soon. And the last of it going into the freezer drawer. Until next time.